They say the best leaders know when to cede control. In Counter-Strike, structured leadership exists in a tug-of-war with the individual brilliance of your star players. And if you're on a team with Bosnian superstar NiKo Kovac, you might as well let go of the rope. His individual ability has always won out, and that's been the curse of his entire professional career.
The 1v3 needed from the god himself, NiKo, known for brilliance, and he needs to call upon it right here, right now. Device cowers in the corner, the shot goes off. Oh, he's got it! And now the 1v1. Dupree closing in, he's got the rifle as well, but NiKo, you know what he can do. And he looks, he waits. Dupree edges forward, and NiKo's a god!
NiKo started playing at around 8 years old. He and his friends would play 1.6 semi-seriously, right up until the release of CSGO, and in the new game, NiKo felt very comfortable. He and the game just clicked. Back then he was known as Nikolino in the server, and he and a crew of Serbian friends formed a clan called iNation. The team would occasionally get sponsorship deals before going back to their own brand, but a constant theme would be not being able to find a sponsor who could spring for international trips. The first one he would make was in the Mad Cats tournament in Vienna in February 2013 under the name of Esports.rs. The team beat a 3D Max squad with Guardian and Oscar to make it out of the first group stage, though would later be trounced by LDLC and Very Games. While under the brand of Refuse in September of 2013, the team finally made it to a DreamHack, although it was only a short distance in Bucharest, Romania. The squad wanted to take on the world's best teams like NIP, but lost comprehensively to Very Games and Lemon Dogs and didn't make it out of the group stages. NiKo held his own against Very Games though, and against lower-ranked Team Tessa pulled out a ridiculous 1.86 rating. By this stage, NiKo had already started to attract attention for his individual performances. It was talked about as the tragedy of a prodigy raised outside the realm of the game. If only NiKo had been born in Sweden or Denmark, his early career would have been much easier. He did have early offers to lure him away from his longtime friends, but he briefly flirted with the idea of trying to grow his own local Bosnian scene. That didn't last long, however. In early 2015, an offer came through that would enable him to fulfill the star potential he knew he had.
First, I'm gonna be the best in my city, then I'm gonna be the best in my country, and now I'm trying to be the best in the world.
German squad Mousesports had just failed to qualify for the ESL Katowice Major in 2015 and felt they needed to change something. Mousesports member Legia knew NiKo and approached him about joining. According to NiKo at the time, "It was really hard for me at first and weird for them to communicate in a different language, I guess. My English was really bad and I'd never played international CS, but it was my first and most important step to reach the top level." NiKo's 2015 at Mousesports was a breakout year. He played like a head-popping demon with a 1.19 rating for the year and at times getting up to 1.47.
I think that I played pretty good, maybe the best CS in my life, because I was so motivated to play it. When I came in Mousesports, that was the first opportunity, first chance, I had to use it, and I think I used it.
But with NiKo in the squad, the team was communicating in English. When a deal was put on the table to sign 3 players from Penta, Mousesports saw an opportunity to go back to calling in German. That put NiKo, one of the rising stars of CSGO, on the bench. Luckily, he wasn't completely idle. Mousesports allowed him to play for other teams such as SK and Kinguin. But NiKo had to watch frustrated as his team tackled the next major in late 2015 without him.
I felt really bad. I could see me while they're playing. It was, I don't know, worst feeling ever, I guess.
Having helped Kinguin win the qualifier for Gaming Paradise while outshining all their other players, Kinguin was ready to make an offer. But Mousesports wouldn't let NiKo go. After the team's defeats to Cloud9 and Flipside in the ESL 1 Cologne August 2015 major, NiKo was destined to return from the bench. But being on the bench was a formative time for NiKo too. It instilled a desire to take charge of his own destiny and not leave his success in the hands of anyone else. When he started playing for Mousesports again, he wasn't kidding around. He was the star and would mold the team how he wanted. While watching Mousesports' extended boot camp from the sidelines, he theorized that the team was overthinking things. They tried to be too structured, he thought, and got in their own way. He much preferred the loose freestyler Fnatic, relying on their own individual skill, who was still at the top at the time. That played a part in Gob B, the team's in-game leader at the time, eventually getting kicked. NiKo himself would take on in-game leading duties. He was the star, he was the entry fragger, sometimes lurker, and he was in-game leading as well. The loose style helped him function without his stats falling too much, though over the course of 2016 he would steadily do less entry fragging and more supporting.
I'm in-game leader, but I'm not like, we do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. I'm like, we play standard, you just do what you think it's like best to win the round. And like my role is just to make some pressure on the other side, to try to get some entry frag, to lurk if I can, just to make pressure that they're using all the utilities there, to throwing smokes, grenades, everything, and then we just group up and do something together.
NiKo would continue his amazing play in 2016 with an overall 1.18 rating, but the team would struggle at big events and especially at majors, failing to get out of the group stages at both majors that year.
Struggles really came after we kicked Gob B, when I had to take over in-game leading stuff, and then we've been struggling a lot because I didn't know how to really do it, or let's say I didn't know how to handle it. So there was a lot of pressure on us, and even on myself, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself because I just couldn't do it.
NiKo was building a reputation for being a fearsome player who could take out an entire team with just a deagle.
Then it's a NiKo key men here because they've got big armor, and NiKo's putting in more damage. Well, what is that? No! 4 kills! You can't do this! There's only one more person to find! Down to the 1 versus 1! Is he really gonna ace? NiKo!
Then again, you need a lighter gun like the deagle if you're already carrying your team.
You need to understand, when you have NiKo in your team, that's something special. When you see him talk about the game, when you see him play the game, that's something absolutely... You cannot understand that until you are actually in a team with him, you know. And him becoming IGL, I still believe that maybe he's a little bit better as a actual player that can roam around, do his thing, and he can do more things than being an IGL.
At the start of 2017, mousesports once again bombed out of the group stages at a major at E-League 2017 in Atlanta. To rescue NiKo, who had just been rated 11th in the world for his 2016 performances, FaZe Clan contacted mousesports to see if they'd be interested in letting NiKo go. Mouse agreed, and in one of the highest profile transfers there's been in CSGO, NiKo departed to go and shape FaZe. NiKo instantly felt comfortable in the team, not having to call and being able to do whatever he wanted. He was with Karrigan, one of the best in-game leaders in the world, and Rain, who would be a stalwart for FaZe. He could finally just frag out.
Awkward spot, but that's the bomb. If he wins this 1 versus 1, oh, he could steal the round away. What a calamity for NIP. The quick flash there. NiKo finds himself an incredibly blind player and finishes off the clutch.
The team would have a decent year in 2017, and it was finally time for NiKo to lift some silverware. Star Series Season 3 was their first big trophy.
Karrigan's gonna love it, NiKo's gonna lead the way, it's FaZe that win in Star Ladder!
And they went on to win ESL 1 New York 2017.
Put your hands together for your winners, the ESL 1 champions, and that is FaZe!
E-League Premier 2017.
Here they are, FaZe, ladies and gentlemen.
And the ECS Season 4 finals.
NiKo, you're very good at Counter-Strike.
With the MVP awards for those events divided evenly between NiKo and Rain. NiKo himself had risen in the global rankings, coming second in 2017. NiKo would also watch as mousesports got stronger, even without his star power.
It's pretty weird to see like that they're playing now better CS than they did with me, but maybe, yeah, as I said, I just think that I was not good enough in-game leader, and that like my style could not fit to them, and that we could not find place for everyone.
It was good to acknowledge the mistake, but he was about to make it all over again. Expectations were high for FaZe, which was collecting stars worthy of playing with NiKo. Legendary players Guardian and Olofmeister came on board. They had the firepower, they had the budget. Anything less than first wouldn't be accepted. And when the E-League Major in Boston came in January of 2018, they had their chance to make history. After pushing aside mousesports and Na'Vi to make it to the final.
And it's just Rops. Young Estonians' first time in the playoffs. Certainly impressed, but it's not been enough. Doesn't elect to hold on to it yet. He's got time to play with! And 2 for 2, Smoke will do! It's FaZe to the final, and Guardian is an absolute god!
FaZe were up against a Cloud9 side that on paper they should have had an easy time with, but Cloud9 was playing the best CSGO they ever had. It was a rare series in which NiKo didn't perform, although he did have his clutch moments.
It's Skadoodle gets one. Skadoodle can't get the third. It's NiKo with 12 health.
Is there time though? Is there time? I'm not sure if there is. It's going to be a close one. And he's done it. FaZe Clan take the lead in overtime number 2. He was the only man with a defuse kit, and he was the only man to survive. Anybody, if he gets taken down, the round is theirs. That is absolutely ridiculous, and they know it.
After a close win on Mirage, 16-14, FaZe would lose the next 2 maps, and Cloud9 would claim a historic NA victory. Cloud9 famously fell apart after that win, but so did FaZe. It was perhaps not as devastating for Karrigan and Olof, who had lifted major trophies before, but for NiKo and Guardian, 2 of the world's best players, it felt like we had slipped into an alternate reality. It should be them up there. Close afterwards was IEM Katowice in March, where FaZe would lose a grueling grand final to Fnatic, 3 maps to 2. From the outside, it didn't look so bad. There are worse places to be than second. If you said at the time that that was the best FaZe would do, you'd be called crazy. But on the inside, these 2 grand final losses were enough to question Karrigan's leadership. Once again, NiKo felt it was time to take charge of his own destiny. According to NiKo at the time, it's hard to say why it happened, but what happened is that the mood in the team got bad once we started losing. We didn't play together, the communication was bad. It wasn't us playing at all, I don't know why. It's very unlikely, but from now on Karrigan won't be the in-game leader anymore. It's going to be me. After the 2 grand final losses, Olof revealed he would have to take a break due to personal issues. This compounded the issues FaZe were having, as it resulted in 5 months of playing with stand-ins.
People start not trusting the way I'm calling. Obviously, there was a situation right after we won Sydney 3-0 with Exist. The team told me they were thinking about replacing me with Exist while Olof was gone. So they wanted to give me a second chance while we had stand-in, which was really tough for me. How can you improve a team when don't we practice as a team? Because we don't know when Olof was coming back, who are we gonna play with for a longer time. When your team start pressuring you, they start thinking about replacing you, it's really tough as a game leader to just do the calls you feel is right, because you always feel like somebody's second guessing you.
Karrigan was eventually benched and left the team, leaving NiKo to once again be star fragger and leader. It was like 2 high-profile players stuck in their own loops. NiKo was destined to take over leadership duties to the detriment of the team, and Karrigan was destined to be a booted in-game leader who went on to beat his former teams.
So the plan was, after benching me, getting in-game leader, but everybody said no to them, as far as I know. They couldn't get the players they wanted, ended up having NiKo calling, which he was doing 2-3 months prior to that as well. So I thought it was a backup plan where he could still call the way he wanted, and it was a short-term solution with Adrian, I think, when you look backwards, and the same with Neo, waiting for in-game leader to be available.
Taking on an IGL role at NiKo's FaZe was an understandably daunting proposition, and FaZe has thus far stuck with NiKo as leader. The results were largely the same. NiKo individually did amazing and was rated 3rd in the world in 2018, but the team didn't enjoy the same level of success. The same could be said of 2019. NiKo was 11th in the world, but FaZe was inconsistent. They won Blast Pro Series Miami and Blast Pro Series Copenhagen, but the best result at a major was a quarterfinal exit at IEM Katowice. History had repeated itself. Just like Mouse Sports had become NiKo Sports, FaZe Clan had become NiKo Clan. But recently there's been a hopeful change of strategy for the team. With other players stepping down, the last 2 recruits have been young talents plucked out of the Eastern European scene with no transfer fee. 19-year-old Brokey has already proven himself with some star performances, and 16-year-old Bymas has held his own in a limited amount of maps, ready to be molded by NiKo's mentorship. NiKo may have been unable to bring CSGO success to his hometown team, but now he's figured out a way to lift players from the region to the top of CSGO. The future looks a little brighter for FaZe, and while NiKo's story could have been a tragedy about a star demanding a role he wasn't suited to, he may yet turn it into a triumph of mentorship. Do you think there's anyone who shows up as consistently as NiKo with individual performances? Would he have been better off sticking with his original IGLs, or did something have to change? Let us know in the comments below, and as usual, like and subscribe to Dexerto for more esports content.